I know we have to sort of do this quickly because you have to go back home and make samosas. But you look like a kachuri type of person. You have the face of a kachuri.
I want to say eat me, but don't.
Welcome back, Akram.
Thank you.
For the
Third time.
third time, yes. The other one is still in edit. So, Umar, if you're listening or watching, please get it done. Right, okay. Oscars are later this evening.
Yeah.
Or I think early morning for us. It's going to be, no notifications, please. Let me turn those off. Okay, right.
Oscars.
No. I was. Where do we start from? Do we start from Best Picture? Do we start from Best Director? Or do we start from Actors? Because this.
I think let's go from specific to generic.
Just one second. Before I even start, first of all, who cares about the Oscars? I hate the Oscars.
I have stopped watching the Oscars.
I've stopped
for a
watching
very
the
long
Oscars
time
too.
Now. There was a time when I was, पता था कि यार इस दिन होने हैं, एक alarm लगा लो, कुछ लगा लो. You would sit and you would watch.
There was one point in time for me personally where I thought that was the standard.
Yeah.
If the Oscars, if the Motion Picture Academy if they were awarding a particular film, the Oscar itself, that statue, the statuette, I thought that's sort of like, the gold standard of film.
Yeah.
But then for me, I think I died a little, or I think the Oscars themselves died when they awarded Slumdog Millionaire. This is 2010.
12,
No, Slumdog Millionaire. God, I can't even remember.
I think 2012.
No, it wasn't 2012.
No?
Was it 2012?
I think so. It was 2012.
Yeah. I mean, there were two watershed moments that made me lose all faith in the Oscars. Number one, them awarding Slumdog Millionaire the Best Picture. And number two, them nominating Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar, for Best Picture.
You were against that?
I was against that.
Why? What was up against it at that time?
Oh, there was a bunch of movies, because there was one point at time where it became so bloated, the Best Picture nominees. I mean, you had like 12 at one point. I think they even nominated like 12 movies for Best Picture. You cannot have 12 nominations for Best Picture. I mean, I'm not saying it's not statistically
I lost track
possible.
when... do you remember that film called Hurt Locker?
Yeah, of course.
That also, I think, won.
That one, I think Catherine Bigelow, the director, won Best... No, it won Best Film.
It won
Best Film, yeah.
That is the day when I said, nahi. Because Hurt Locker was, according to me, I don't think it was...
It was a really decent movie.
It was a decent film, yeah.
It was a decent
But not
movie.
an award-worthy film for it to get an Oscar. You can nominate it, but not make it win. I'm not sure कि उसके up against और क्या था उस time.
I'm forgetting. But the thing is, Hurt Locker...
But if you compare Hurt Locker with Slumdog Millionaire, okay, then I can say Slumdog Millionaire gets more points for that.
Why?
But Hurt Locker, no.
No, dude. Slumdog Millionaire...
No. इतनी भी बुरी नहीं थी as compared to...
Come on.
Let's agree to disagree then.
Okay, fine. But for me, I mean, Slumdog Millionaire was like...
It had something in it. It had something.
It was
as compared to
nadir.
Hurt Locker, nahi.
I mean, look, considering the kind of films that have won Best Picture over the years. So for me,
Considering
Slumdog
that,
Millionaire, yes. For me, Slumdog Millionaire was like, the absolute nadir.
But if you look at it independently and then you look at it as a film in
still
terms
wasn't a
of
strong movie for me.
acting, in terms of the
It
story...
wasn't a strong movie for me. It wasn't a strong movie.
In terms of the edit... okay.
I mean,
I'm not trying to convince you.
No, you're not. But Danny Boyle, I think kind of dropped the ball with that one. Or I know a lot of people like yourself liked the movie. For me, no, it just didn't really work at all. But okay, moving on from that. That number one, and then number two, Avatar. Avatar, based off of the technical achievements of the movie, hands down.
Yeah.
James Cameron should have won every technical award that year, and then even for the last one that came out.
Yeah.
I remember watching the last one in the movie, The Way of Water. I only want to watch it because, simply for I wanted to see what sort of he's done. Because again, they were going on about how for the past 10 years he's been developing technology specifically for this movie, so on and so forth, and he delivered. Honestly, the experience in the cinema was transportive. It was something that I haven't had in a very, very long time. But as a movie, no.
The part two.
Part two, even part one. I mean, it was Dances with Wolves set in space.
I think part one opened up quite a new horizon for filmmaking.
No, man. I mean, for filmmaking, yes.
For filmmaking and
but
storytelling.
As a film, no, not for storytelling.
It had a lot of meanings.
Not for storytelling.
No, why not?
No.
Why
I
not?
just said it right now. It was Dances with Wolves in space. If you've seen Dances with Wolves,
no,
Kevin Costner, Oscar-winning movie.
I haven't.
Right? But that's what it was. They're these weird like cat creatures. I'm sorry that I really didn't like the design of
the Navi.
The Navi in the movie. I really didn't like that. But sort of as a film, not good.
Okay.
Technically brilliant.
But you're looking at film as an art and as a storytelling.
Yes.
The narrative.
I'm not divorcing the two.
Okay.
Right? I'm looking at it as one sort of composite.
Okay.
So in this particular thing, yes, it was a fantastic.
You're going to break a lot of hearts.
Go for it. It was a fantastic looking video game.
Yeah.
But other than that, as a movie, nah, man. It just didn't work for me. But let's move on because
let's move on.
Because you have to get home and make dahi bale or chaat or something like that. So yes. Okay. Seeing as how this is the first one that's being presented. Actor in a leading role. The nominees that we have, and by the way, let's see how many of these we get right and how many of these we get wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because I feel that this is it's pretty stacked. There's some really good nominees in this.
For a leading role, right?
Yeah, actor in a leading role. So you have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. You have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
Thankfully, I watched that last night, so I can comment on it. In fact, I've seen all of these. Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing.
Okay.
Rafe Fiennes, not Ralph.
It's not Ralph?
No, it's Rafe.
I keep on calling it Ralph Fiennes.
No. They had some discussion with the guy, Rafe.
Rafe. Okay. Why does he spell it that way then?
No, it's spelled this way because Rafe is apparently the older pronunciation for Ralph.
No, it's the same like the brand Ralph.
No, absolutely. But Rafe is the old English pronunciation for this.
Rafe.
And there's a video for this on Instagram, where he's actually telling people how to pronounce his name. For Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Sebastian Stan plays Donald Trump in The Apprentice.
Okay.
So this is some really, really hot contenders. And
I think Adrian Brody and Rafe Fiennes.
So,
and maybe I haven't seen Timothée Chalamet, but I love his work.
I saw it last night. He's fantastic. And this is going to be hopefully a show in the next week or two, and I'll be discussing this with a friend of mine from uni who introduced me to Bob Dylan. But Timothée Chalamet is, I think, is slowly becoming one of the finest actors of his generation. Yeah. For me, he sealed the deal with Dune, right? I'm partial to that. I'm biased to it. But in this movie, and again, it just came, should I say online? It came online yesterday, day before. And before that website is shut down, I suggest you guys go and download.
Okay. Give a pop-up over here somewhere.
Exactly. Here's the link. Download here. Right. But okay, so very quickly. Then Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing. This is a movie. Okay, so this is about, what's it called? Not actors, sorry, forgive me. This is about prisoners in Sing Sing prison in New York State. And they've started a theater program.
Okay.
Right? And in this movie, they have, what's it called? Of course, Coleman Domingo plays the lead. It's based on a formerly incarcerated person who was a part of this theater program.
Okay.
And they are using theater as therapy, as an outlet for these incarcerated, for these felons. He has acted, he's superb acting.
Okay.
Really raw. And I think what really helps in this movie is that a lot of the other people in who are acting are either the very same people who were formerly incarcerated, who are like, called felons, and were a part of this program.
Okay.
Or then they're just other actors. But yes, he's really shown his chops, considering that this guy has come, he's a Broadway, he was on Broadway for a very long time, and only recently, I would say over the past 10 years, broke into TV and then into film. So he's been in a lot of things. So yes, very deserving of the nomination. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Did you see it?
No.
Okay.
He's playing Trump.
He plays Donald Trump. Yeah, exactly. Interesting movie. I think it's even gotten nomination for Best Film. He's good. I think that sort of
Is it about that season, The Apprentice?
No. This is about
his life.
No, it's about sort of his early years. So this is the transition. Well, not exactly the complete transition, but this is how him and this particular person called Roy Cohn, who was a lawyer, how that guy takes him under his wing.
Okay.
So he is essentially that guy's apprentice. That's why they're using the title.
Yeah.
Again, what's it called? Donald Trump was always in real estate. The son of a real estate, well, a slumlord, not a mogul, but whatever. But yes, that is sort of the story of how this guy comes under this person's wing and sort of transforms
and
into...
And it's played by?
Sebastian Stan, the guy, Winter Soldier.
Tick.
He's a pretty decent actor. And he had another really interesting movie this year called A Different Man. Again, an actor who's on the up and up. Deserving, I guess, of the nomination, but definitely not going to be taking the award home this year.
I hope so.
Right.
No,
so now,
but I think again,
now I think
Adrian
sort of
Brody.
Yeah. So now I think it is. I agree with you. I think the contest is between Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, who, by the way, has already won this. He won this for The Pianist back in 2001.
Yep.
So he's already won this. So the Academy is always mindful that considering that this person's already won, do we want to give it to him again
or not?
Right? I mean, you don't want to end up like Meryl Streep, who continues to be a poor thing, who's a very fine actress, but who continues to be nominated but just never wins.
And don't forget DiCaprio for that.
Yeah, DiCaprio.
For a very long time.
Very long time. Yeah. They keep on doing this. I don't know why. And then, of course, you have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, who was fantastic in it.
Excellent, but if you put him against Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, these are like apples and oranges. I don't think we can compare them.
I think
they both deserve it.
I think the dark horse in this is Timothée Chalamet. Because, I mean, forget the fact that he's singing all of his own, like he does all the singing as well. Sort of getting those mannerisms down, getting that sort of like, cadence, if you will.
Is he different than the Timothée Chalamet that we have seen in that film?
Of course.
It's not like the Dune Timothée Chalamet.
No, it's not the Dune Timothée Chalamet. It's not Paul Atreides. This is Bob Dylan. And he inhabits the character. Yes, I think there are flaws with the script itself, with the screenplay, that does not allow, Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan to be completely realized or fleshed out. But he does a wonderful job. So I think the dark horse in this is, of course, Timothée Chalamet. But you never know; he might take it home. But I think
Ralph Fiennes has not won an award before,
I don't think he has. And the thing is,
but he has been nominated before.
Yes, and he's also had a pretty decent year. He had what's it called? It was based on Odysseus. Wow. I watched it. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of the movie. It came out in November.
Getting old, man.
I'm getting old. Yeah. Much like Ralph Fiennes. But yes, who do you call it for? You're calling it for?
I'm calling it for Adrian Brody.
Okay, I am going to say...
I'm also diverted towards Ralph Fiennes because he has not won it before.
He's not won it before, which is why I feel that, the Academy might give it to him. But I think it's a toss-up between either Ralph and Timothy. I don't think Adrian's going to get it, considering that he's already won.
But he's done a beautiful job.
We can talk about The Brutalist at length. I'm glad that you watched it. Okay, actor in a supporting role.
I'm going to just sit through this episode till you get till The Brutalist.
Get to The Brutalist. I don't know if you want to... Okay, actor in a supporting role. I can quickly... Because again, I've done all of these. The guy who should win this is Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. I've loved Guy Pearce.
Who are the other nominations?
Okay, so you have Yura Borisov. He was in Anora. I've seen the movie. He's okay, but the very fact that such a young actor has gotten a nomination is win enough. He cannot expect to take any awards home this night. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Also seen it. Pretty strong. And I think he was the best part of that movie. But the fact that he is going up against... Okay, then you have Edward Norton, who plays Pete Seeger in A Complete Unknown. Also pretty good. Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice, who plays the aforementioned Roy Cohn that I just mentioned. But then you have Guy Pearce in The Brutalist.
I think Guy Pearce.
I think Guy Pearce is going to win this, and he deserves it. I've been a fan of this guy ever since Memento, all the way back in the very, very early 2000s. I've loved this guy for a really, really
He's
strong.
He's an underrated guy.
Extremely underrated actor. Extremely underrated. But yes, of that Australian, that Aussie crop of actors, Mel Gibson, Russell Crowe, Flanagan Dinkana. This guy is, I think, the most underrated amongst them, and he deserves this award, no doubt. Moving on. Okay. Actress in a leading role.
Actress.
Okay. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. I didn't even bother with this. I don't even know why this movie's been nominated. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Then you have this person, Carla Sofia Gascon for Emilia Perez.
Oh, I want to watch this film.
She's a trans actress. And the reason why there has been a particular spotlight on this person is not recently, I would say over the past couple of months, a lot of her old tweets have resurfaced, in which she's been very racist towards Muslims, towards blacks, so on and so forth. So a lot of people were actually calling for her to be, for the nomination to be rescinded, for it to be taken back. It's been made. It has thrown a lot of shade on the movie itself because it's been nominated for Best Picture, but now because of this person's antics, that's gone.
Okay. And now she's only in the lead role.
This is actress in leading role, but I doubt very much that they're going to award her for this. I don't even know if she's going to show up.
What if they do?
I don't think so.
What if they do?
The Academy is not that bold. They don't take risks like that. This isn't like
they
that.
took a risk enough to add her name.
No, but this was before those tweets resurfaced.
Okay.
The Academy, I think, president said that she's been nominated, and I think in more ways than one they've said that it cannot be taken back. But yes, I don't think there's any chance for this person. Okay. Then you have Mikey Madison for Honora. I've seen this. I love Sean Baker's work. His last film was fantastic. But I think this movie for me kind of fell a little short of that standard that he set. And I think it was largely in part because I really didn't like the lead in this.
Okay, who was the lead?
Her name is Mikey Madison. I think this is maybe perhaps her first role. I'm not sure. But there was something about her that completely was off-putting.
The first role lands her in a leading role?
Oh yeah, lands her in a leading role.
It must be good then.
Check it out. Check it out. I love this guy. His work is really good.
Okay.
Right? The Florida Project, Tangerine, Red Rocket. That's it. These are his movies. Really good. And whenever he makes a movie, they're nominated. He's really good. Okay. And in fact, his first movie he shot on an iPhone.
Oh.
Tangerine. Check that out. Demi Moore for The Substance.
Demi Moore. She's still alive. The Substance. Oh, no.
Did you like it?
I've heard a lot good things about it. It's in comparison to The Shining. It takes a lot of things from different films. Yes.
So I saw this. What's it called? And I'm so glad that the horror revival continues. Full steam ahead. I'm so glad that this is happening. And it's been nominated surprisingly for Best Picture, which we'll get to in a second. Demi Moore was good. But does she deserve an Oscar nomination? Because I remember the last time she got one was for G.I. Jane. 1994, I think.
She's still alive.
She's still around.
She's still making movies.
And then there's Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. That's a movie I must admit I have not seen. Man, I don't know which way to call this. I don't really care about this category as much.
So, Emilia Perez is stuck out. Okay, Wicked, out. You're saying does not make sense. I think you're left with Honora then.
I think it's either Honora or Demi Moore. These two.
I give it to Demi Moore.
Okay, fine. Demi Moore gets it.
I hope she gets it.
Okay, cool.
It's about time.
Okay, then you have actress in a supporting role. Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. She plays Joan Baez. Then you have Ariana Grande for Wicked.
Ooh.
What? Why?
No.
No, exactly.
But she's a good actress. Then you have to give it to her. No, she is a good actress. I don't think
for this role. I didn't watch this movie, my nieces did, but they didn't even like it. So I don't know why they got it. Okay. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist.
She comes in for a very short period of time and then she does her work.
Grandstand only happens at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. The Nun.
The Nun.
Yes.
No.
And then Zoe Saldana also for Emilia Perez.
I think Zoe. I haven't seen Emilia, but I think Zoe, whenever she does a supporting role, she's good.
Perez. I haven't seen Wicked either, but Wicked definitely
I think Ariana and Zoe.
I think it's going to be Isabella Rossellini.
The Nun?
Yes.
Uska itna part tha nahi.
But it was still, She's an older actress. I don't think that she's gotten the award before. Don't forget.
खैरात थोड़ी बांट रहे हैं.
खैरात होती है. नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. नहीं इतना भी नहीं है. This is the Oscars.
यार उसको नहीं दिया चलो उसको दे देते हैं.
These are old white people sitting at home having nothing better to do. So
then just to think कि किसको award देना है.
किसको award हमें देना है. So I mean, I'm going with Isabella Rossellini.
I'm going with...
You're going for Zoe Saldana.
Zoe.
Okay, Zoe Saldana. And just what's it called, a quick take on Monica Barbaro, who played Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown. She got her first, I think her breakthrough role was in Top Gun Maverick.
Who?
This actress, Monica. She was Sting. She's one of the pilots who lasts until the end. She's that lady.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I'm forgetting her call name. But she does a pretty decent job. However, I don't know if she deserved the Oscar for this. I don't think so. So I think that this is down between Isabella Rossellini and Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
And I think
Zoe and Ariana.
Okay. And I think Isabella Rossellini is going to get it.
But we are missing out Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones, okay, I think we can talk about this when we're talking about the Brutalist proper. Okay. But I agree with you. She only comes in the latter half of the movie.
But she has an impact.
She does have an impact.
Okay. Nay. I think Felicity Jones.
I'll
tell you
why.
Because
she was in
because her physical presence wasn't in the film in the beginning, but she was still there.
She was referenced.
As a character, she was still there, and as a character, she was still, talking to us and talking to Adrian Brody. It's going to be different.
But considering that you have such strong performances from the two male leads, I'm not saying that they outshine her. I'm not saying that.
Felicity is not outshined by the leading
I'm not saying that she's outshined. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that when you have these two pillars, literally, because we are talking about architecture here, when you have these two pillars in the form of Guy Pearce and Adrian Brody, where does she stand?
She is that, that block that they buy from Carrara or Carrera.
In Italy,
she's that block, that marble block.
I like that.
So that is very important block. So I'm going to change my decision to Felicity Jones and maybe Zoe. But no, I'll go with Felicity Jones.
Okay, done. Okay, we've spoken about this last time.
Flow.
But yeah. Done.
Flow.
We don't need to talk about any of these, but I'll just quickly mention this.
Flow.
Animated feature film. We have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot I did not like at all.
But a lot of people have talked about it.
I've liked it. Yeah. I did not like it at all. Wallace and Gromit was fantastic. You didn't like? Okay, I love Wallace and Gromit. It deserves the Oscar nomination for sure. Inside Out 2, it was good, but not as good as the first. I'm afraid I have not seen Memoir of a Snail, but for this, hands down, it's Flow. We've spoken.
I think it's going to be a tough competition between Flow and maybe Wild Robot. Yes.
I really, really hope, and again, not that I have any faith in the Academy, but I really hope that Flow gets it, and if it doesn't, the Academy sucks.
नहीं तो अभी आपने कहा ना खैरात है तो खैरात में कभी लिथुएनियन डायरेक्टर को नहीं मिला तो लेट्स गिव इट टू हिम
नहीं हम दे रहे हैं हम बांट रहे हैं वो नहीं देंगे because the thing is also think about this studios are always working in the background trying to push their movies right so I'm not saying that sort of like palms are greased and sort of like briefcases are exchanged or something like that. However,
but they're trying to do something.
But there's always something going on, and the Wild Robot is going to be a feather in the cap for the studio because not only was it not in my books, but a critical and commercial success. But once you have the stamp, the Academy stamp on this best animated feature, the Pirto, it goes up even further. But no, Flow wins. Flow. Animated short film. Haven't seen any of these. Let us skip. Cinematography, yes, because there's some really good ones in this.
I know which one will you choose.
Well, yeah, of course, that goes without saying. But but it's no. But then it's up against what's it called? Okay, let's just quickly.
Why isn't Conclave in it?
Conclave should have been in it, because the thing is, okay, first of all, you have The Brutalist, then you have Dune Part 2, then you have Emilia Perez, Maria. I have not seen that, and then you have Nosferatu.
I have seen Nosferatu.
I did not like Nosferatu.
I did not like it either.
Thank you.
But why is it tagged
Conclave should have been in there.
Cinematography, nahi.
I mean, set design, really good. Wardrobe, costume, very good for Nosferatu. Forget the movie, whatever. There was some really decent filmmaking in there.
In Nosferatu.
He's a very good director. However, I think when you have these two titans, Dune Part 2 and The Brutalist, So now this one is a really tough one to call.
Brutalist. 70 mm, difficult to shoot.
Vista Vision,
difficult to shoot.
Extremely difficult to shoot.
Slow
I love the
pacing,
colors of the movie. Oh my God, the colors were... But then, how do you compare that to something like Dune? I mean...
Dune is something that we have seen before.
We've not... No.
In Dune Part 1. Okay. And in Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049. And for example, in Arrival. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
But then, we might have seen it before. But
my
the imagery is unique.
My point is, the imagery in Dune seldom tells us a story. As compared to... In comparison to Brutalist. Standalone, yes it does. In comparison to Brutalist, from the opening till the very end, the camera screams out loud. I don't want to even say speaks out loud. It screams out loud. So I might give it to Brutalist. I wish Conclave was a part of this.
Conclave should have been a part of this.
Maria, yes. I haven't seen Maria or Emilia. What do you think about Emilia Perez?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
And I have no interest in seeing it. Sorry.
So these two films, I think the odd ones out. Nosferatu, okay, now that you're mentioning it, and when I recall...
I mean, it deserves to be there. But
makeup and costume and set design makes sense in Nosferatu, not cinematography.
Not cinematography. Conclave should have been there.
Conclave should have been there,
definitely.
So, but I'm giving it to the Brutalist.
You know what?
And you're giving it to the Dune part.
No.
Yes,
I will
judge you if you don't.
No. Don't judge me on this because I'm in agreement on this. I think that the Brutalist for sure.
I convinced him finally.
I hope I'm pronouncing this name correctly. Lol Crowley. Yes.
Lol Crowley. Yeah.
Costume design. You've got a complete unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2. Gladiator 2?
Nah.
बनता है. We've seen it before.
बनता है, costume के लिए तो बनता है.
We've seen it before. चलो costume के लिए बनता है.
There isn't anything else.
Nosferatu and Wicked.
Nosferatu. नहीं, Wicked भी है वैसे.
नहीं. इसमें
Nosferatu. Conclave का costume.
Even though we've seen those before in real life, those costumes, what these cardinals wear, so on and so forth.
No, Conclave. I think if I hope Nosferatu is being nominated for the makeup and stuff.
Makeup it should definitely get. It had the costumes. Why isn't the Brutalist in this? There is one thing, and I think that's visible by what I'm wearing right now.
लंबा सांस नहीं लेना. थोड़ा धीमे धीमे.
Let's not do that. We don't want that on screen. But here's something. Besides everything else that struck me from that movie, the costumes in that for the period are fantastic. And this is coming from somebody who has more than an interest in fashion.
जी.
Yes.
Obviously. बताया audience को कि कौन सा पेज लाइक करने, सब्सक्राइब करने.
I've never done that. I never plug my page.
मैं बताता.
This is where it's lacking. Costume design, the Brutalist should have been there 100%.
Yeah. Instead of ये कौन सा complete unknown? I haven't seen that.
वही the Bob Dylan वाले जो हम अभी बात कर रहे थे.
उसमें कैसा है costume?
I mean, it's period things, and the thing is that a lot of the costumes have been, because there's documentary footage, like there's pictures, there's so many, like again that period, it's 1960s, right? So a lot of Bob Dylan's looks, a lot of the other people, there's so much of that stuff in sort of
because it's reflecting the true reality.
No, because they have pictures from the period. They again, like
so that becomes more easier as compared to the Brutalist.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Why is the Brutalist not nominated for costume design is beyond me. So the Brutalist should have won. It's not nominated. So I think I'm going to give it to Conclave just because I like Conclave. I know, I feel like I should be giving it to... I too
am going to give it to Conclave. When I think of Gladiator, we have already seen that. It wasn't something different this time around.
Out of the ordinary.
आधे तो वो नंगे ही थे.
That's a reel right there. Thanks.
So costume में नहीं Conclave.
Conclave should get
Nosferatu के क्या costume?
नहीं उसके थे. There's really rich period. It's a period wardrobe
for Nosferatu.
For Nosferatu, yes.
I'm trying to remember what were they wearing.
Do you remember for example, when they're having evening drinks and the gentlemen are wearing, the ladies are in their dresses. So those are really, really well done.
Conclave, let's give it.
But Conclave, I mean, there's a richness in those uniforms. They are essentially uniforms. Yeah. But there's a richness in it. Yeah. I mean, because they're using the finest materials. This isn't like for example, Sasta, like I'm not going to say it. Directing, we'll come back to.
Okay.
Because I think that should be the cherry on top.
Documentary feature film, we already know which one it is. We already have our biasness towards it. We already want it. We already wish and pray.
It is essentially...
It is No Other Land.
I mean, again, I am...
What are they up against?
Black Box Diaries. This is a movie about, what's it called? A Me Too case in Japan.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. Then you have Porcelain War. I'm forgetting what this movie is about. Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat is about... Maurice.
A coup going on.
Yeah, it's about a coup in Africa, but I think it's Maurice Lumumba.
Is it an important coup?
I mean, it shows how the CIA and all of these Western powers have been instrumental in destabilizing Africa. So yes, there's no doubt about it. And then there's sugarcane. Again, this is the first time, at least, that I haven't seen all of the documentary features on this. But with all due respect to the others, it's No Other Land. There is no movie more important to that, and hopefully that will pop up very soon. Yeah, there'll be another link here that says that somewhere here where Akram and I are reviewing it, and it is.
But I've seen the episode. Every time you keep on pointing, यार यहाँ होगा वो होता नहीं है.
It's like somewhere else.
So somewhere all over the screen.
Somewhere it's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, hands down, this goes to No Other Land, which, by the way, has yet to find a US distributor.
Yeah.
Documentary short film, let us skip.
Film editing.
Wait, let us do international feature film.
Okay. What do we have?
Here's the Khairat wali baat. Because if you see
Latvia.
Flo has also been nominated here. So what they might do is balance things out.
They give Wild Robot over there, and they give international feature film over here.
Because here you have The Seed of the Sacred Fig, which is an Iranian movie, although it's a German release, German submission. I've yet to see it, but it hasn't come online. Emilia Perez has come back again. I don't know why this movie is like back like a back penny. Pata nahi kya, I mean, chhod de. The Girl with the Needle, I am sorry, I have not seen this, and I'm still here, I have not seen either. So, based off of this sort of this toss-up between animated feature film and international feature, I think they might do this.
They might do this, yeah.
So
they might balance
Flo
it
might get it here, and the Wild Robot will get it there.
Over there, yeah.
Right. Makeup and hairstyling.
Nosferatu.
So you're giving it to Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The substance is really interesting because it's a body horror movie. Although the reason why I think if you plan on watching this movie, and for those of you who have seen it, the makeup that they've done for the Thing, yes, exactly. I don't want to give anything away. At the end is like just childish.
And is that thing important in the film?
It is very important, but it's revealed at the end of the movie, and it's just like, whatever, man. I was like, it was so bad it hurt. So I don't know why this has been nominated.
Maybe let's give it to Nosferatu. I will give it to Nosferatu.
A Different Man. Okay, you're giving it to Nosferatu. Done.
Yeah, let's done. Music, Dune. You just give it to Dune. Is it Dune?
Dune's not in this, that is the problem, and this is why I am so glad. Wait, but then this. We're going to come to that.
No, music original song. It's a song.
This original song, original score. The fact. So it's so bizarre. The Academy and its rules. For whatever reason, they have deemed Dune 2 ineligible to be nominated this time around.
Okay.
And I think that is criminal in itself, just like the fact that they have not nominated Denis Villeneuve for Dune 2 as a director. Okay. But if any score, and this time it was done by Hans Zimmer as always. There's one, and I hopefully we'll post the link to that. There's one particular track from Dune 2. It's A Quiet Between the Storms. I think that's the name of it. I think that is one of the best
scores
I've ever heard in my life.
Why haven't they nominated
it? We can dig into why. I mean,
you don't know yet. I thought
no. They announced this I think when they announced the nominations, that's when they came out and said. And I think if we quickly could Google it, we could find out why. But it's particular. I mean, there's some rules or something that they have. I'm not quite sure.
You can carry on till I find.
Yeah. So music. Then you had The Brutalist. This is again a movie that had very interesting sound. Really, really interesting music going on in this one. The score was again something, and this is why I think the director Brady Corbet or Corbet, it's Corbet, is a director who is coming into his own, and he is using every element of what makes a film. He's using them. What did you think of the sound of the score?
मैं बताता हूँ. Due to surpassing the Academy's limit on pre-existing music, hence Dune 2 was not.
Which is honestly some bullshit.
It's not eligible.
The very fact that has not been nominated is, again, I'm saying this, is criminal.
Pre-existing music क्या मतलब? क्या they have already created this music before?
नहीं, pre-existing का मतलब ये है कि because they have used the score or elements of the score from one that is pre-existing.
So maybe they have a rule and does not follow under that rule. It's not.
No.
हाँ, you have your biasness ना. सब कुछ दे दो भाई, Dune 2 को सब दे दो. बाकी सारी फिल्में
दफा करो.
अच्छा नहीं. Regarding music, Brutalist, excellent music, but I would love to give it to Conclave.
Okay. Then you have Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot. In तीनों को तो दफा कर दो. Forget those three. It's between The Brutalist or Conclave.
I would give it to Conclave.
I'll give it to
because I've already given love to Brutalist, and I feel that Brutalist में music, yes, it does play a part, but it's not.
No. It's this sonic. It's its own sonic character. It is this. Yeah.
You're saying music is a character.
Oh, absolutely.
In the film, I'm saying the same for Conclave.
Cool. Great. So it's a talk. Yeah. Best music.
इसको रहने दो, आगे चलो.
छोड़ो.
Best picture पे आ जाओ.
एक second. Best picture. Production design हम जल्दी कर सकते हैं.
Nosferatu.
You've got The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part
Dune 2. Oh, this is difficult.
Dune.
Production design, Brutalist. नहीं उसमें तो Conclave.
इसमें भी Wicked है यार, किधर से आ गया? Why?
We haven't seen it, na? Maybe it does have something.
No, forget it.
Achha, this is a very difficult one.
These three are difficult. But I think
now let's try and break it down. Dune 2.
Brutalist, Conclave, Dune.
I would easily remove from this list Dune 2.
No, you can't.
I'll tell you why.
You can't. And again,
something
this
we
comes
have
from
seen
a product
before.
Designer.
Something we have seen before.
No, we have not seen that stuff before.
We have.
I tell you
in
this.
part 1.
No. You've seen it in part 1, but the thing is that the amount of detail, and let me just give you a very, very, quick example. There's a scene in this movie, and it's not a spoiler, in which a particular character is being buried.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the character Jamis, and he's being buried according to the funeral rites of the Fremen.
Yes.
Right? What they do is...
In which they extract that.
They extract the water from him.
Yes.
Do you see that flask in which they're extracting the water? It is shaped exactly like the worm, the Shai Halud. Do you see what's it called? The pump, which is extracting the water, which is literally pumping out the water. It looks like it is an actual mechanical part. Those are details which, again, could have been excluded. Again, it doesn't need to look like it works on film.
But
right?
the same happens in, let's say, Nosferatu as well.
No.
A lot of details.
Not to this extent. Not to this level. The Brutalist, understandably, and I can wax lyrically about one particular scene, but just that chair.
किस movie में?
The Brutalist में that chair that he's made.
The library wali.
Yeah. So again, this is based off of the existing works. Not to say that they've copied something, but again, they're paying homage. The existing works of an actual, an architect. It is right up there, but I think Dune takes it. Simply because of that level of detail.
Okay, let's see. I cannot pick one.
Okay, cool.
This is a very difficult one.
Live action short film, छोड़ दें, sound. A complete unknown.
Dune को दे दो. ये भी Dune को दे.
Dune दे दो.
दे दो. वक्त ना जाए. आगे चलो.
Visual effects, Dune.
Dune देखा. Dune nominated ही नहीं है.
क्यों नहीं है? Dune Part 2. It's right
All
there.
क्या nominated?
Alien Romulus, Better Man,
Dune,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked.
Dune. हाफिज साहब जब होंगे ना, हाजी साहब जब होंगे तो Dune.
These are two interesting categories, good ones. Writing adapted screenplay and then writing original screenplay. So let's do adapted screenplay quickly. A Complete Unknown is based off of the book Dylan Goes Electric, which...
Conclave.
Then you have Conclave. Emilia Perez again. Nickel Boys.
ये देखनी पता है, we'll have to see Wicked and we'll have to see Emilia Perez because it's nominated too much.
I'm sorry,
too many times. We'll have to.
I think that this is again the Academy just not being able to do its job properly. There are other better movies. But in this case, it's either A Complete Unknown or Conclave. I'm giving it to Conclave.
I'm giving it to Conclave as well.
Okay. Writing original screenplay. Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance.
Brutalist.
September 5th is a movie about Munich Olympics, and the attack. The Israeli athletes were taken hostage by these Black September Palestinians. But in this, it is it is between Anora and the Brutalist. I don't think a real pain is considering Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor from Zach from whatever. But he's a pretty decent actor in himself. This was his, I think, second movie that he's directed and written as well. A very decent screenplay, no doubt.
But I'm
the
giving
substance
it to
is also very interesting, and she's very deserving of that nomination. However, when it comes to this, The Brutalist, 100%. Yeah, that deserves it. Okay, now we come to two of the most director and best picture.
Yeah.
Two of the most important categories that we have. Oh, you're checking your time.
Yeah, मैं क्या इफ्तारी का टाइम पहला रोज इतना बोलना पड़ रहा है.
एक second, let us quickly go. Where is best picture?
अभी गुजरा था ना, वो नीचे है.
नहीं, this is director. किधर गया? नहीं, नीचे है कहीं. I think we can do best picture first, and then we can talk about documentary. No, let's do directing first.
Okay.
Right.
We haven't done editing as well. Have we?
No, we didn't. Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked.
Brutalist.
I don't know why Emilia Perez and Wicked keep on getting nominations.
We'll have to watch it.
You watch them.
I will.
And then you can sit in that very seat and talk about them, because I won't. Conclave, The Brutalist, or Anora?
Conclave. No, sorry, Brutalist. Editing में ना? Brutalist.
Okay, done. Best picture.
No, a long list.
And which is why I'm saying that,
This is the list that you're saying 12 are being nominated?
12 नहीं थे. I mean, it was a couple of days ago. There was like 12. Ridiculous.
अभी कितने?
1, 2, 3, 4. So, Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked. So,
Nickel Boys?
Yeah, this is about two guys who are in I think it's a reform school for teenagers. And sort of it's the friendship.
You Nickelback band की बात तो नहीं?
Nickelback, come on.
Because this is the first time they're being nominated, ना? किसी और category में नहीं है.
Another category.
They are?
They are.
अच्छा.
So Wicked, The Substance, Emilia Perez. These movies should not have been nominated. Definitely not The Substance. There were better, horror movies than this. Again, Nickel Boys I can't comment on. I can comment on Emilia Perez and Wicked. Fuck that. Sorry, I shouldn't.
पानी पी लो यार.
Sorry.
पानी ला दो इनको. का क्या रोज़ा?
Sorry. But now it's Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, and Dune Part 2. I can tell you right now.
Dune?
No, 1 second.
नहीं, Dune क्यों?
सबर कर यार. A Complete Unknown did not deserve the Oscar nomination. No way. Anora, I know it's been a critical darling, and it's been, rave reviews. But for me, I think this is a lesser Sean Baker movie. So for me, no. Then you've got Conclave, The Brutalist, and Dune Part 2. Now, I don't think they're going to give it to Dune, simply because it's...
We have seen it before.
No, we have not seen it before. We will never see anything like this again. Right? Simply because it's the Academy, as I said, old white people. It's a science fiction movie, right? And, they're generally wary of awarding, the last time we had fanboys were rewarded was when The Lord of the Rings got it, for example, right? Return of the King. So I think that this time it's going to be between The Brutalist and Conclave. And what's going to happen here is that there's going to be a consolation prize. So either somebody's going to get Best Director, and the other person is going to get Best Picture. So it's going to be something like that. So if it's between Brutalist and Conclave, I think Conclave should get it because, and this is where we can talk about The Brutalist now. As a movie, it is again exemplary.
The Brutalist?
Yes. It is filmmaking that is working where all cylinders are firing. Every element, and you and I have done this in our respective classes where we break down the movie, right?
Yeah.
Every element in this movie is working.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. However, for me, the one thing that let me down and the linchpin that completely collapsed this movie, deflated it for me, was the latter half and that one particular incident that happens. right?
Yes. We can discuss on that.
We can discuss that. I think, I don't know.
I might change your opinion on this.
You might. Okay. Yeah. For me, and I don't care, let there be spoilers. In this particular thing, again, Adrian Brody is the architect. Laszlo Toth, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Guy Pearce is Mr. Van Buren.
Yeah.
An American.
Harrison
Harry
Van Buren.
Yeah. Harry Van Buren. Right. Their relation starts off as one of admiration.
Yeah.
Van Buren is enamored, in awe of this character. Because there's this man who is clearly flawed. He's a junkie, right? He's a refugee.
An immigrant.
Yeah. Well, in this case, no,
kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But he's brilliant. And I think that is what this man is attracted to, right? For various reasons, their project keeps on getting delayed.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. You know, the project that he's hired him to work on. This movie, which I'm so glad is actually reintroduced, actually has an intermission.
Yes, it does have an intermission. I was thinking, maybe I have downloaded the wrong film. And then I realized, this is a part of the film.
It's a part of the movie.
It's a 1 minute long intermission.
And I tip my hat to the director for doing this, because movies should have intermissions.
Yes.
It is not a gimmick. It allows the audience to take a pause. It allows you to tell two different stories, which this movie is.
Yes.
The first half is very different from the second half. The second half, for me, takes an almost dark turn. Right? The first half is something that has led me now to rave about the movie. The second half, for me, no. It just did not work.
Okay.
The second half, for me, there's a phrase in English called to gild a lily.
To gild a lily. Okay.
To take something that is already beautiful, like a lily, a flower, and to gild it, to lay gold upon it.
Overdo it in a way.
जिस तरह उर्दू में कहते हैं ओवर हो गया, ज़्यादा हो गया. That is what happens in this movie. ज़्यादा हो जाता है.
Okay.
Particularly because of that one particular thing. And should we say it?
It's a sexual abuse.
It's sexual. So
let's put it that way.
Yeah. So the reason why I started off by saying this is that in this particular case, Guy Pearce's character is enamored with Adrian Brody's character. It is not exactly a friendship. Right? Even though I think it starts off as that.
It was never a friendship.
No, I'm saying it might have started off as that because, he offers to help, repatriate his wife. He hires him, brings him into his home. But I mean, in that particular scene where his wife is introduced for the first time and he's like, oh, you still have the accent of a shoeshine boy. And he tosses him a coin. That clearly establishes, you are an employee.
Yes.
You are a lesser person.
Yes.
I am who this person is. And again, for me, I forgave Van Buren for that because, again, I felt that, this is just who the character is. Fundamentally, he's not even exactly a good person, but he's benign. This role isn't that of sort of one of domination, which is what it becomes. Because after a particularly bohemian bacchanalia in the mountains of Carrera with these anarchist, I don't know, stonemasons or whatever. Both of them, I mean, Van Buren's drunk. Our friend here is high. Van Buren takes advantage of him and rapes him. And I couldn't stop laughing. Not at the act, but at the chawal.
Once you're done, I'll let you.
ठीक है. उसके बाद, for me, the movie goes downhill. There is still a beauty in this movie, and I literally, that one scene when the library is revealed.
Which library?
इसका अपना जो the first time around.
The first time.
When the library is revealed, it is honestly like the heavens parting.
Yes.
That is such a beautiful moment, captured on film.
Yes.
It's a testament to the director. It is a testament to the cinematographer, to the set designer, to everybody working in concourse on this movie. Beautiful scene. For me, though, us chawal ke baad.
Movie khatam ho gaya.
And for those of you who are watching English, I don't know. I think we will try and find the definition of chawal.
ठीक है.
I just felt that it was
a blunder.
Yes, it was a misstep.
It was. You're calling it a blunder. I'm saying कि नहीं. It had a lot of meanings. Now I'll try.
Go for it. And sorry, just quickly, after that scene, that is when their relationship goes downhill. The thing, what's it called, is the project is kind of completed.
It is completed.
It is completed, yes. But
Van Buren disappears.
After he's accused by Laszlo's wife.
Yes.
And after that, I'm not saying that the character kind of fades into obscurity, but that's why years later they have the Biennale in Venice,
yes.
where he's celebrated for his works, and that's it.
By his niece, right?
By his niece and by everyone who's there, for him. Achha. Go ahead.
देखो Brutalist, एक तो the first thing that I would give credit to is कि for in this age and era, in the digital age and era in which we are very accustomed to watching things unfold in front of our eyes in a very fast manner, in a very quick manner. Quick cuts, flashy things, gimmicks, this and that. It has actually slowed it down.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And it brought back that art into that film.
And that is what the director even said, that he received criticism. Why is this movie 3.5 hours long? But he's like, this is an adult movie.
Yes.
Not an adult movie. This is a movie made by adults for adults telling an adult story.
Yes.
And we will tell it at our
It is not for the youth. It is not for people who would watch. It's not a popcorn film.
No.
It's not something that you can sit through and you have to actually pay attention to all the details. So the first credit is that this is a very long film. It is a painstakingly long film.
Yes.
And it actually demands your attention towards itself. That being said, in order to understand Brutalist, we have to first understand these both characters. The taut Laszlo wala character, and then Van Buren. Now, Laszlo is someone who is thinking and looking at America as the States as
the land of promise.
The land of promise, the land of opportunity, the land where things will happen. It is the place where I will flourish.
And I will have a second life.
And I will have a second life. It is like us having an American dream.
Yes, yeah,
absolutely. कि यार मैं अमेरिका जाके जो है ना ये कर लूँगा वो कर. This is that guy.
And then you start working in a pharmacy.
Yes. And then on the other hand, you have this
man who is the American dream.
But at the same time, this character of Guy Pearce, he keeps on wanting more, and he thinks कि अगर मैं ये कर लूँगा तो I'll have more status. If I do this, I'll be more people think more of me. Throughout the film, you will get to see that he wants to have a name for himself in the society, and he keeps on.
Has that.
He has that, but he still wants more.
Well, I think that sort of is that rapacious nature of capitalism.
Yes, exactly.
Which he is representative of.
Exactly.
Right.
So you have that, and at the same time, he finds this guy who is looking for the American dream. He knows कि यार ये बंदा मेरे काम का है, and he starts exploiting him. And while he is exploiting him, understand this कि Laszlo जो है, he will do anything to achieve that American dream, and he will do anything to achieve whatever he wants more. The capitalist guy, the Guy Pearce guy. But at the same time, throughout the film, you will get to see कि वो कहीं ना कहीं जाके इसके पीठ पीछे भी देख रहा होता है कि यार ये काम सही कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा. He is looking at other people as well. He is trying to see whether he's spending. You can't trust a ठेकेदार or an immigrant.
Yes.
While this is being done, there is another layer in this film about those immigrant people. Remember that Attila guy, the friend,
his brother, his
cousin, how he is living the American dream.
Yes, he's
transformed.
He's transformed. He's no longer has the accent.
He does not have the accent.
He's no longer Jewish.
Exactly.
He's married like a typical blonde Catholic.
Yes. So the perfect image of the American girl that every immigrant at that period, at that era, wanted to get married to. So they have symbolized that in this manner. And when this guy comes, Laszlo, when he comes to this place, किस तरह से उसकी बेगम उस पर इल्ज़ाम लगाती कि he is hitting on me. The only reason she is doing that is not because he is actually hitting on her, is because she wants to get rid of this immigrant. That tells us the story that कि वो immigrants को इतना accept नहीं कर रहे. Regardless of him being an important person.
Have we not seen what Trump is doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, while all of this is being done, again, that point where Laszlo is sacrificing his own income to get this thing done.
To make, exactly. Yes.
And what is the Brutalist? Brutalist है क्या? You know what that is? You know what brutalism is?
Yes, the art,
the architecture, right?
The architecture movie, the art
it is that, for those of you who do not know, Brutalism is started post World War II, in which architects were able to design, create buildings which was in the middle of minimalism and let's say maximalism. ठीक है कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा उसके अंदर ओवर एग्जैजरेटेड किस्म की जो है ना बिल्डिंग्स बनाया करते थे. जिस तरह मेरे ख्याल से वो अंबानी का घर है, किसका घर है जिसके डिफरेंट शेप्स बने हुए इन इंडिया. Or maybe it's Shah Rukh Khan's house, something like that. But think of it as a structure which you have never seen before, a structure which, when crosses your eyes, you will...
Watch Dune 2 to understand brutalism. Watch Blade Runner 2049,
yes.
That's brutalist.
But not Dune 2, please. Blade Runner, हाँ. Dune 2 में कोई brutalism नहीं है.
बहुत ज़्यादा है.
His English, तुम बहुत तेज English बोलते हो ना, तो we can say you like the brutalist version of English. Slow down.
Sorry.
So the exaggeration in those buildings is brutalism. Now, this character, the point where you're saying कि जहाँ पर उसका sexual abuse होता है, I think of it not as a blunder or a misstep or an over or a chavali. I think of it as, in order for you to understand that, you have to understand Van Buren's character.
I do.
He wants to own everything.
Of course.
And him tossing that coin, जिस तरह आपने mention किया, him tossing that coin is saying कि भाई, I am something, you are nothing.
No, of course.
And because he wants to own whatever he's देखो डिजाइन के अंदर भी वो चेंजेस करा रहा था Van Buren. He was always trying to portray his own character into that building as well.
Of course.
Now raping Laszlo is not an act of out of pleasure or out of that.
No, it's not a sexual act. It's an act of domination.
It is an act of domination,
yes,
exactly.
It's power.
And it is an act of ownership. Yes. Bhai, I own you. You are nothing.
He says it, you're nothing. You're just a lady of the night.
Exactly. So you already know that. Listen.
I understand where they were going with this, why they were going with this. But I feel again,
it was too much.
There were other ways, and again, I'm not blushing. I'm not shying away from the act itself. I feel that I summed it up. It is to gild a lily. It is taking something that is already a crowning achievement. This is only his.
This is, I think, the final nail in the coffin in which it says, "Ke this is not the dream that I want. I want to go back." If this did not happen,
this is only his third movie, I think. Because Brady Corbet, the director, producer. Because first it was Life. Oh God, I've seen the movie.
Getting old.
Yeah.
Getting old.
Childhood of a Leader. That was his first movie. Then it was Vox Lux, and now it's this.
Now it's this.
This is his only third movie. The fact that he's been able to deliver this in only his third film establishes this man as one of the great American voices, right? But for me, why I cannot award this film Best Picture is because while it is not a perfect movie, that is what I'm saying. Simply because of this one particular thing, which you understand it, I understand it as well. But I feel that there were perhaps other ways.
How would you make this character not believe in the American dream and go back to his place?
The very fact that his dream remains unrealized up till that point for decades. No. You did not need such a physical act, such a tangible, such an act
you
of
actually
violence.
Wanted it. I'll tell you why. Because throughout the film, वो जो emotional उसको torture मिल रहा था, वो तो मिल रहा था. From the get-go. He got thrown out by Van Buren from the library.
Yes.
Then he comes back and then he brings him on board. Then he changes his designs. He gets thrown out of his cousin's house.
Yes.
He stays at वो इसी घर के अंदर भी नहीं था, कहीं पीछे को सो करके किसी स्टोर में कहीं पिला रहे होते हैं, सुला रहे होते हैं. So he is already getting emotionally tortured, but because he has that, he's holding on to that American dream, and he's saying, "Yaar, nahi, ho jayega, behtar ho jayega." You had to actually hurt him physically in order for him to understand, "Yaar, ye American dream tumhare kisi kaam ka nahi hai." And after that, the woman walks in on that clutches, and then she delivers that monologue, and she says, "Yaar, you are this, you are that, you are that," and that is when the guy realizes, "Yaar, nahi, ye jo main sara kuch soch raha tha na, ye nahi." It had to happen. And even then, remember that scene when they're coming out of Carrera, Van Buren is walking in front of him, or piche aa raha.
In the phrase that these kids love to use, he gaslights him.
And even at that point, you can see that Laszlo does not have it in him to say or do anything.
Of course not. And maybe he's sacrificing this to the altar of his dream.
Exactly. So यहाँ पर it was extremely important for him to, कभी-कभार it's like you have to have someone to slap you into reality. ठीक है, कभी-कभार ऐसा होता है ना, this was that slap के भाई, this is not what you want.
Yeah, snap
this is
back
not.
To reality, right,
So because he was already in it. Throughout that torture you have to bring him back.
I'm still not convinced.
You'll have to watch it again with this mindset.
No. I would watch this movie. It is beautiful.
I'll tell you again. Why was the Statue of Liberty inverted throughout in the beginning?
And that's something that they've brought up in many interviews with the director.
Yes.
Because the thing is, instead of having, as you would see Statue of Liberty like sort of looking up to it, in this it's inverted.
American Dream ulta ho raha hai na.
नहीं, मुझे समझ आ रही है. Look, I get all of that. Right? I get all of that. But I still feel that this was a step too far.
I love the way it was pictured or shot, the abuse part, especially in that Carrera. A lot of, high key lighting. क्या दिखा रहे हो?
नहीं, I'm just coming back to directing.
And the camera does not cut.
No, of course it's
and
there.
Then you have those huge, stones, those marble stones.
It's almost like
shadows, and you're playing with shadow and light.
It's in a cathedral or a church where this is being happened. Yes. So like sort of that violation.
I'll give you another layer to why did the director choose this area Carrera. वहाँ पे वो बता रहा था कि this is that place which has been kind of violated in terms of its minerals or in terms of its natural resources, because after 100 years ये जगह नहीं होगी.
Yes,
and यहाँ पर ज़्यादातर आपके वही मजदूर वगैरह काम कर रहे होते हैं जिनके पास कोई पावर नहीं होती. Usually क्या होता है कि this rich dude walks in, he buys all the stones and goes out. This is the same. The reason why I've chosen this place where the abuse happens is also because of this.
Right.
So I love the way he has laid his themes and his narrative and his actions, bundled them up together and then presented it to us. उस हिसाब से I feel कि that act जिसको आप चवल कह रहे हो, वो it was warranted. It was
now
good.
Based off of just this discussion, and I think we can bundle sort of best picture and directing together, because in directing you've got Sean Baker for Honora, you've got Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audia for Emilia Perez, and Coralie Farge, I hope I'm
for The Substance.
For The Substance. So to hell with The Substance and Emilia Perez, right?
A Complete Unknown is Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Honora I haven't seen.
Right now, I think it's a race between Sean Baker for Honora.
Honora कौन सी वाली थी?
वही जो अभी हम बात कर रहे थे. It's about what's it called? Mikey Madsen. I was just.
ठीक.
And then of course you have The Brutalist for Brady Corbet. I think he deserves.
If they don't, does it matter the duration?
No, that doesn't matter to them, because
it took a lot of directing.
The fact that Denis Villeneuve is not nominated here is again.
वरना Dune को मिल जाना था.
मिलना चाहिए.
Achha, do you see a question? Do you see this Brady coming close to Denis? In terms of direction, in terms of his depth, in terms of how he understands and.
So I have seen. Listen, I've seen what's called Childhood of a Leader. I have not seen Vox Lux, and I've seen The Brutalist. He's not where Denis Villeneuve is.
Will he be?
Will, of course.
Let's say if Denis is over here, do you think Brady is over here?
Undoubtedly.
Or over here?
No. He is, again, this is only his third movie.
I think a third movie पे काफी गहराई है इस boy में.
Let us do what he does. Let us see what he does next.
Okay.
So what we can say is that for film, I think Conclave's going to get it.
For Best Picture?
Yes.
वो तो nominated ही नहीं. अच्छा नहीं nominated है. हाँ.
Best Picture के लिए Conclave is going to get it, because again, the Academy is not one to take risks, and Conclave is a very middle.
You never know. Maybe they give the Best Picture and the Best Direction to Brutalist. They can, but I think that they should give, if there is justice in this world, the Brady Corbet gets Best Director, and Best Picture gets
and Best Picture goes to Conclave.
अच्छा, एक चवली तो Conclave ने भी मारी थी, वो नहीं याद आपको?
नहीं, वो चवली नहीं थी.
How?
No.
वो उसको I will properly categorize as a chawli.
No, I don't think it is. I think
we've had this discussion
before, but I think that is the kind of curveball that no one was. Were you expecting it?
No.
Exactly.
Does it have any meaning?
It's not about meaning in this.
It is?
No.
Why not? आप एक चीज introduce करा रहे हो and then you're saying it's meaningless.
It's not meaningless. No. We're not saying it's meaningless. We can look into it and read it and say that, oh, what's it called? Maybe this is what's it called? Like, you know,
the change.
Maybe this is a woke agenda. Flana, dinkana. Wo sab chhod do. If you think of this, and again, we discussed this, if you think of this movie as a thriller, which it is, the purpose of a thriller is to keep you,
guessing in a way.
Keep you guessing, but forget the fact that that's the purpose of a thriller. There are different purposes. But the very fact that this movie is that behind every corner, in this particular case, every staircase, there's something going on, then that is perfect. That is like the icing on the cake. That particular, reveal at the end. So I think that yes, Conclave does deserve best movie and director goes to Brady Corbet.
Let's see. I think दोनों इसको देना चाहिए.
देखते हैं ना, we will see on the night, later on today. So yeah.
इफ्तारी के टाइम पे?
नहीं, इफ्तारी के टाइम में I think it's going to be around.
रात को ही होगा ये तो.
I think it's going to be early morning for us because there it's going to be I think it's after like 2 or 3 in the afternoon for them there. So I think it's going to be like, you know, the early hours for us. So सहरी के टाइम
पे हम awards देखेंगे. ठीक हो गया.
ठीक है. Let's see what happens.
All
right, that's another episode done and dusted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. बहुत भूख लग रही है.